Now, never before have we talked about mushrooms this much. Once just a side dish, the fungi is now the focus of murder allegations. But across the country, foragers are out in force as mushroom season begins, some with no idea what they're eating.
I'm so devastated by what's happened.
3 murder charges. A Victorian mum accused of poisoning her relatives with deadly mushrooms.
I say I didn't do anything. I love them.
In a separate case, police are still investigating a woman's death at a health retreat. Initial reports suggest Rachel Dixon consumed a tea that may have contained toxic mushrooms. There's never been so much focus on fungi. As mushrooms pop up around the country, health authorities are issuing warnings. But interest in foraging is only growing. Kane Barlow is a mycologist and fungi educator. He's been picking and studying wild mushrooms for 30 years, taking us to find some in Melbourne's inner north. So which one do you think it is?
I think it's the slippery gill. It's also growing underneath a pine tree. So these are mycorrhizal. They only grow in association with trees.
And you'd be comfortable eating that one?
I would be comfortable eating this, yes. Out of these specimens here, I would only eat this one. These clearly grub-eaten.
But not all mushrooms growing in this park are what they seem.
To me, that looks like a mushroom that you would eat.
Right, that is not a mushroom that you would want to eat. This has got a really boxy appearance, and maybe you can see already, but it's starting to get that yellow stain colouring coming through if I scratch it.
So what's that telling you when that yellow turns up?
This is a poisonous mushroom.
And it can get much more dangerous. Kane found this death cap mushroom 2 kilometres from Melbourne's CBD.
So one of the most dangerous mushrooms in the world.
Yes, this is one of the most dangerous mushrooms in the world. One of these can be strong enough to kill you. The gills are really white, and it's kind of a bit of a thing for, like, if you're learning to forage, you don't eat any of the white-gilled mushrooms.
Through social media, thousands of foragers have found a new way to connect and share their finds.
Quick double check before I throw a couple of these in with dinner. Slippery jacks or edible similar species?
I've eaten many times, but every year the web's saying toxicity and edibility is unknown. Anyone able to confirm these babies are cool to eat?
There's also been a rise in apps and phone features that claim to be able to identify mushrooms.
They are concerning, and I will point people away from those. I think it's far better to interact with Facebook groups or ID groups where you know there's a real person on the other side.
It is extremely hard to ID. Looking at them, apps don't help, books don't necessarily help because they look different.
Lydia Bookman from the Food Safety Information Council issues regular warnings about eating wild mushrooms.
And even scientists that we talk to can't differentiate between poisonous mushrooms and safe ones.
Her advice, the safest way to enjoy mushrooms is to buy them.
Commercial mushrooms are grown in safe, sterile conditions. Go and buy your mushrooms from a reputable place like the supermarket or your local shops, or even a fruit and veggie market, and support your local growers.
It's estimated the vast majority of mushroom species are still undiscovered.
Fungi, as a general group, they're very diverse, so we haven't really discovered a lot about them.
Dr. Vito Bottato is a microbiologist at Melbourne's Swinburne University. He says each case of mushroom poisoning is different and symptoms may not show up for hours.
It can potentially be just a simple stomach upset, basically gastrointestinal problems, but it can be neurological as well, so definitely don't risk it. Your life is more important than getting a free mushroom somewhere else.